Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Propagandacast Lehr with me, host Imperial Dane. The topic of the day being the German sniper. As requested in the comments for the previous video, I'll do try to sort of live up to those requests if possible. So, we are having a look here at the sniper, die Scharfschütze. Part of the Wehrmacht. A long-range unit with this one hit can snuff the candle of any enemy Soviet infantry unit, be they shock trooper, combat engineer, conscript, or what the devil. Possesses a reasonable rate of fire. Also, quick to note, he is reasonably expensive, costing 360 manpower. And of course, wondering, well, how do you use the sniper? Well, generally you try to stay him at range because the sniper is a very vulnerable character. A few hits and he's dead. He can't really take a lot of shots from your opponent. Of course, also, if the opponent pulls up a sniper himself, your sniper might also be in a bit of trouble. On the other hand, he of course possesses the long range, reasonable rate of fire, and the ability to kill anyone in one hit. So generally, that is what you want to do. You want to drain your opponent. In that department, the sniper is an absolutely excellent attrition tool. And in that department, also a tool of psychological warfare, because there's nothing as frustrating as having an enemy unit constantly killing your men from afar, in particular if there's something guarding it. And that's generally what you want to do with your sniper, by the way. You want to shield him, you want to protect him, you want to screen him, because if possible your opponent will try to rush your sniper and take him out. And again, it can happen because your sniper has no armor and has very little health. I think he's got about maybe half of what a single grenadier has. So overall, he can't withstand many shots from a conscript or anything else, so that's something you have to be careful of. Course, and you also have to mind retreat routes, because if your opponent then sneaks up something there, he could get your sniper there. So those are some vital things. Of course, popping into a building also gets your bit out of him. Also good to note, he does have a reasonable line of sight, so in that regard he's also useful as a scout. Also possesses hold fire, although if you really want to use for a scout, use hold fire. He's also a bit unique, and he's one of the few, if not only, units that can actually move through cover and stay cloaked. In fact, can actually leave it and slightly be still cloaked for a brief moment, I think. So that rather makes him a bit particularly special in some regards, giving him many handy abilities. So we can put him into a building so he gets more out of it in some regards. Then again, be mindful of retreat paths when using the sniper. Try to screen him, so again your opponent can't rush him, because your opponent will try to rush him. Either with infantry or, for example, a scout car, which could very quickly put an end to your sniper. But again, otherwise for a term of use, again, tool of harassment, tool of attrition. Drive your opponent nuts, keep draining away and keep plucking away at lives, keep draining of manpower, because again, in the longer run, he will really rack up a bit of a bill in terms of manpower cost for your opponent. And as he gains more efficiency, that rate of fire increases, which again makes him further lethal, makes him further of a point of frustration for your opponent, which is what you want. Also, things to note, as he gains efficiency 1, he gains the incendiary explosive round, which is actually quite a handy ability. It stuns an enemy unit a bit, infantry unit that is. Also has a chance of actually killing more than one person. And well, that's it really, which rather actually gives it a few handy advantages. For example, if you suddenly find your sniper being rushed, you can fire an incendiary round to basically just stun that squad and give yourself time to escape. If your opponent has a squad that's clumped up, then it's also effective. Or for example, you need to start a weapon, support weapon, to quickly get past it again, you can also do something here. So those are some tricks there to keep in mind as well. But move from cover to cover, snap away. Be careful if you see anything that indicates your opponent might have a counter sniper out. Be extra careful, hold fire, try to draw him out with something else, and then snap away. And of course, as the opponent, all these things, works in reverse. If you have opponent has a sniper, if you do go to counter snipe for it, be very, very careful. Try to draw him out, don't try to rush your opponent's suspicions. If you rush, try to hit from possible angles, don't try to hit where there's enemy in the way, but sort of try to sneak up on him and catch him from there. Again, using the terrain then is actually excellent for sort of catching the sniper off guard. And that of course is another thing with the sniper. You usually want to ensure that you have sort of a clean line of sight, or something ensuring that your opponent can't creep up, because that will really be one of the sniper's main issues. And of course over here, be careful you don't feed the sniper either if you're the opponent. Of course the Germans, you just, want to keep killing a sniper, holding back, doing nothing. It's not worth an awful lot. But as you're noting, and a prolonged engagement, the sniper can really sort of slowly drain your opponent of fight, of life, manpower of troops, which can give you an advantage. I mean, he's not going to something that on his own will decisively turn an advantage, but he's something that overall in a larger fight give you a slight edge. It will give you some slight ability there to drain your opponent of life, of manpower, of vim and vigor. But again, you know, vulnerable to being rushed. And of course, getting good at using, for example, vaulting over cover is definitely going to be something that will prolong your sniper's life expectancy. And that department, having a medic bunker up or some medics trained troops will definitely be helpful, since again, your sniper can't withstand a lot of shots and he will very quickly die if you're not careful. So keeping him alive, of course, will be a main priority, ensuring he doesn't get wiped out, because your opponent will want to wipe him out. So that is quite vital to remember. But again, in a matter of moments, again, he has ranked up an impressive kill count. And again, that's really one of his sort of main abilities. He can really get a lot of things killed for you, if you handle him correctly and aggressively. You don't want to just hand about sitting doing nothing, in which case you're rather wasting your sniper. Of course, you don't want to be reckless either and getting him killed. Generally, if possible, always have something screening it. If not, you know, be sure as hell you've got a clear path of retreat, because as you can easily get in trouble. So those are some things to keep in mind. Of course, also keep in mind he's not an assault unit. He's not something that can push an assault. He can support. He can help clear up more particularly tricky targets that might be slowing down your advance. And you can always slowly turn that advance into your advantage, but he's not something that can push it solely. He's not something that can lead it. That's really sort of one of the essentials of the sniper, of understanding him, of getting the most out of it. So again, you know, range, light of sight, cover your angles, cover your retreat paths, screen if possible so your opponent can't rush him. And also just because, you know, then he can sort of aid to the fight and again slowly push it in your favour, because again, he is a unit of harassment, of attrition. That is really sort of the main priority of the sniper. He's the sort of thing you'll want to use to make your opponent nuts, if possible. And again, you know, for things, if you're starting to get Russian or incendiary explosive round, can help a bit there. Just enough to sort of help you get away. Personally, though, I'm not a huge user of snipers. They're not really my forte, but that's not to mean they can't be effectively used. I've seen a lot of good German players get a lot out of the snipers. And again, it generally sort of comes down to, you know, using them at range, being a bit aggressive, not too aggressive, but still trying to push it away. And of course, mining avenues of approach, ensuring you can't get surprised with a sniper. Otherwise, again, your sniper will end up dead. And of course, you will see players pushing their luck with the snipers. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. That's also something to keep in mind. So hopefully, with that, people will have now a clear understanding of the sniper, how to use him, how to get the most out of him, how to sort of really get a kill count that really will scare your opponent, of course, drive him nuts, and want to kill him. Because as soon as your sniper gets more kills, he will become a larger target, and of course you can use that to your advantage. Set up traps, because your opponent will want to try and kill it, so, you know, baiting him into traps can then be useful, you know. Basically, oh, my sniper's there, and then have him sort of walk around in some place with mines or something that might draw him into a rush or something else, and you can also do a bit of damage, and that's also a little thing to keep in mind there. But hopefully, clear understanding of snipers, how to use them, how to deal with them. Hopefully you enjoyed this, hopefully you've learned something from this. I certainly hope you do. If you did, why not subscribe, tell your friends, or share it with the world. If not, you know, feel free to let me know, and of course also feel free to let me know if there's some kind of topic you'd like to be covered in the comments. This is Imperial Dane saying cheers and see you.